Next man up. Been the mantra all season long. Next man up. But by God, this is Carson Wentz here. Can Nick Foles really defy the odds once again? Is this really going to happen? Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedke. Unfortunately, no James today. A little bit under the weather. But Philly 500, thank God you're here. Dingbat Claus, King Dingbat, thank you for coming on again.
King Dingbat reporting for duty. When called to service, you must accept. So I'm here. We're going to discuss this Giants-Eagles preview. And the question that you asked was, can Foles step up? Can he find that magic again? And it's going to start Sunday with the Giants. But I think he can. I think overall he can. And I think that there's not a better opponent to beat the crap out of than the stinking Giants.
Let's say it together. The Giants stink.
They stink.
Stink. Stink.
Man, that team stinks. That is a brutal, brutal, brutal team. To think, I mean, really, we thought that they were going to – I thought that team was going to win the division. What the hell was I smoking? I mean, it couldn't be so wrong. It's unbelievable.
So here are the statistics on the New York Giants defensive side of the ball. So this really is the perfect opponent for the Eagles right now. 99.0 passer rating allowed, 30 out of 32. 266 yards per game allowed through the air. That's 31-32. And then you look at the run defense, 4.3 yards per carry allowed, 24th out of 32. And then 130 rushing yards yielded per contest, 31st. So this defense stinks. They've given up pretty much throughout the season. This team does not want to – well, they didn't want to play for Ben McAdoo. We'll see about Steve Spagnuolo. They lost last week 30-10. Eli Manning is back. But by God, this is the perfect defense to go up against and to get Nick Foles some confidence because I expect him to throw 2 to 3 touchdowns. I think he's going to be fine in this game. He's going to be fine against Oakland. He's going to be fine against Dallas. Or will he be fine against the opponents in the playoffs? That's the question we'll answer. Well, we'll have an answer to in a month from now, but right now we're focused on New York.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect opponent for him. I think I think a good 3 touchdowns is what I expect from Foles to throw. And look, this is a defense that I always think of when I think of the Giants, 2017 Giants. The one play that I just keep thinking about and how they quit and how bad they stink and how brutal they are is that game against the Rams where it was like, what, 3rd and 30 plus, like 3rd and 33.
Oh, yeah.
And they let them get a touchdown. I mean, how brutal. If your defense can't stop a 3rd and 30 plus, you stink. So I expect the Giants to be up. I think they're going to come out. They're going to want to play the rival Eagles, all that. The Eagles will go up. The Eagles will make a few plays, and Giants will tap out somewhere around the end of the first quarter. Emotionally, they'll be gone, and the Eagles will run away with it. That's pretty much what I think we're in for, which is the perfect scenario for Nick Foles and this team to build confidence.
Yeah, it seems like we both pretty much think that this is going to be a rout.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. There's no reason to think that the Giants can beat the Eagles, even with Foles. And, I expect a rout. I do think that Doug is not going to change the game plan as much as people are calling for. I think we expect a lot more heavy run. But I think Doug is going to want to make a point early that he trusts Nick Foles to throw the ball, to push the ball down the field. And I think he's going to come out throwing because I think he wants to kind of send that message to the Eagles team, to the rest of the league, because it's an important message. And I kind of think he should because you got to show that you have confidence in this quarterback.
And that, again, goes back to the point of why the Giants are the perfect opponent. Because this is the team, hey, we got Nick Foles now. We're going to sling it. Well, you can do anything against the Giants.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly right. We're talking about a stinky, stinky team. A stinky team. So,
it's trying to tank, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants want to lose. I mean, if they want to win now, then they should have their heads examined. Because right now, if you're the Giants, you need to put yourself in a position to get the best player available, especially if it's a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea. Throw it early, build his confidence up, and that's that. That's not the game plan that I want for the playoffs.
Right.
But for right now, to build his confidence, let him kind of sling it around. I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sending the message to the Eagles team that, hey, look, we're gonna keep throwing. We can do what we did before, and the league, like, hey, you're gonna have to worry about us throwing. We're not gonna just become one dimensional run. I think it's a good message. I think it's an important message to send. Now, when you do play in the playoffs and you're playing the Saints and that kind of stuff, yeah, you got to run the ball, use the Jai more. But I think for a statement, because I think this is a statement the way they come out against the Giants on Sunday. I really do.
So, Eli Apple just got fined, right, for a tweet or something. So you got that situation. Janoris Jenkins, isn't he hurt? Is he hurt?
I don't know. I don't know if he's hurt. I haven't seen the final reports or anything.
So you got, I mean, that cornerback situation, it is just abysmal right now. DRC's their slot guy. Got Ross Cockrell in there. So, I want to see Jeffrey have a nice game. What I really want to see is Matt Collins. That's the guy that I really want to see out there. And I think because he's in there with Foles all the time, they already have this chemistry. So I know Torrey Smith had that big game last week. What was it, 5-6 receptions for 100 yards? Yeah. And Matt Collins had a big drop in the end zone. But Collins is the kid that I want to see in this game. Unleash him and unleash Jay Ajayi.
I love it. I love the idea of Hollins. Yeah, he did drop perfect pass, but yeah, with what he has with Foles, working with Foles, I think it's a great opportunity. I say anything that makes Foles feel comfortable, anything that gives him some familiarity or whatever, I think you should do it, definitely. And then Ajayi.
Yep. Definitely get Ajayi going because he had 15 carries last week, but I feel like they haven't unleashed him yet. And I want to see it. I want to see him get 20 to 25 carries a game. You let him establish some momentum, and then in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, that's when you get Blunt in there. Because Blunt has historically had, I believe, a yard per carry more or something. His yards per carry in the fourth quarter is a lot more than the rest of the three. And obviously, when you got a 250-pound bowling ball going against a tired defense, that's a recipe for success.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. And let's not forget Corey Clement, because I think Corey Clement has really come on, and every week to me he looks better and better. I would like to see the perfect case scenario. I would like to see the bulk of the carries go to Ajayi, and then I would like to see Clement with the second most. And then Blunt. To me, over the last few weeks, Blunt just looks like he's run out of gas. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know. He just looks like he doesn't look like he did earlier in the year. So I would definitely go with Ajayi, Clement, and then Blunt. Especially on like third and short situations, I would bring Blunt in.
Yeah, I like that idea. And again, we went through the numbers. The Giants have been struggling to stop the run this year. So there you go. The one matchup that is on the Giants' side is this one. Big V, Halapoulivaati Vaitai, going up against Olivier Vernon. So, we really haven't seen Big V go up against an established defensive end. He did go up against Robert Quinn last week, so, maybe that counts. Quinn hasn't been as adept as he has been the last few years. But Olivier Vernon, that's a matchup to worry about a little bit because Big V has struggled the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and especially now that you don't have that, you don't have that mobility that you had with Wentz. That offensive line is going to have to play better. They just got to be better all the way around. They can't let Foles get knocked around. And there's ways to do that. Part of it is running the ball more, right? Because offensive lines, they like to build on that confidence when they're pushing the line back, and it kind of seems like running the ball gets them into a rhythm. So So, yeah, the line is definitely has to be better. And I am concerned about Foles taking a lot of hits. I don't want that to happen. So, yeah, it's definitely something we got to watch out for.
We need Wiz to play on Sunday because if he doesn't, then yes, I'm with you on that. Because that left side of the line, if it's Sayamalu and Big V, ew, yuck,
Yeah.
Please, just get up on the Giants early so you can take Foles out of the game.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario. And let me tell you, Wiz has been awesome. The guy's been awesome this year. I'm so surprised by his play. So definitely let's get up on this team. I think the other thing is with Spagnuolo being the coach or the interim coach, he wants that job. He's trying to show that he can win it. And I thought that a little bit of what I saw in the Giants game last week against Dallas is he's overly a little bit conservative because he didn't want to take risks and that kind of thing. So I wonder how much, how aggressive offensively the Giants will be. Will they be going for 4th and 4 because they have nothing to lose in the game? Or is he worrying about, I want to win. I want to show that I can be the head coach of this team. So that'll be interesting to see also.
Well, he's definitely going to be dialing up some blitzes, especially if Wiz isn't playing. He's going to try to attack that side of the line. He's definitely going to try.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah. He will. He will definitely do that.
So, my God, let's hope that it doesn't come down to Foles getting hurt, and then all of a sudden you got Nate Sudfeld in there.
I can't even think. I can't
even
imagine.
Great!
I cannot imagine that. I can't even think of that. I'm still trying to get over what happened this past week. I can't even think of that. But I'll look. I think that the Eagles will know that that's coming. And I think they'll handle it. I think in the end, I think they're going to handle the Giants pretty easily, and that'll clinch a bye. I mean, this is an important game, not just because it's a statement. It's not the first game I won, but this is a bye week. That's key. That's key for this team.
And then all of a sudden, you win this game. All of a sudden, you only need one more win.
Yeah,
to get that number 1 seed throughout the NFC. And if you get that, hell, anything can happen. I know that. Not that I'm talking. I don't think I'm talking negatively. I'm talking realistically. But you get that number 1 seed, anything can happen. You never know. And I've said it too in another video. If there is one team that could overcome the odds, it's this one. There is that special feeling with this team. You know what I mean? I do think that it is reaching a point where it's like it's too much to overcome, but we'll see. But there is something special about this team for sure.
Yeah, I look at like I said before, I look at the home field advantage as pretty much giving the Eagles the legitimate shot. I mean, because I think even if you played Drew Brees or these kind of guys in, let's say, an NFC Championship game in Philly, I think that team is going to be in the game. They've got a shot to win every game in the playoffs with that home field. But that home field is the key, and they're only 2 wins away from it. So I think they'll get it, and I think they'll be okay. And I do. I think in the end, as bad as the loss is, I think this team will respond. I believe that in my heart. I do believe that they will.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the other side of the ball now. Defense going up against their offense. So their offensive line is just complete disaster. They just placed Justin Pugh on the IR with a back injury. So their offensive line reads like this. Eric Flowers is your left tackle. John Jerry is your left guard. Brett Jones is your center. Bobby Hart is your right guard. Chad Wheeler, an undrafted free agent, is your right tackle right now. So the Eagles' defensive line should be feasting. With that being said, they didn't get any sacks on Eli in week 3.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that they didn't. I don't remember that. That's really interesting. Well, I think they're going to get some sacks on them this week. I think they'll be fine. Defensive line, I think will be all over the place. I think they'll get pressure. To me, what concerns me about the defense is just the missed tackles like last week, some of the bad angles, some of the sloppiness, you know, and then you know, Kendricks, I don't think has been great the last few weeks either. Like you had said in the past, since he has more snaps now, they're not able to put him in specific positions, and it's definitely showing.
Yeah, I knew that this was going to happen with Kendricks, even though people told me otherwise. But you know, his strengths are to blitz the A gap. They kind of roam sideline to sideline. You ask him to go in coverage, and we've seen what happened. I mean, it was ugly against Seattle. He allowed like 6 of the 11 receptions that the Eagles gave up to the running backs and tight ends. So he was awful in that Seattle game.
Yeah, and I thought against the Rams there was a lot of missed tackles on. I mean, there were plays where Gurley would have like 3-4 missed tackles on every play.
Yeah,
on every
pathetic.
play. It drove me nuts.
Yeah,
and you know, it wasn't until Wentz got hurt that they kind of tightened everything up and rose their game to another level. So I'm interested to see how the defense responds now without Wentz. I want to see if they're hungry. I hope they're pissed off. I hope they're mad. I hope they come out and they take it out on the Giants. I thought Jenkins wasn't good last week. I thought he missed a lot of tackles. I thought McLeod was the
worst game I've ever seen him play.
Some of the angles McLeod took, I don't even know what he was doing. So they got to tighten up on defense all the way around. And like we said from the beginning of this, the best team to do all that is the Giants. It couldn't get any better.
Yeah, and it hasn't even been against Gurley that they were missing tackles against Mike Davis.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like I understand. All right, so you miss a couple tackles against Gurley. He's a top 3 running back in the league. I put him in the top 3, but that's just me. That's my opinion. Yeah. But definitely top 5. Mm-hmm. So. All right, so you missed a couple tackles against him, but what's your excuse against Mike Davis?
Yeah,
Mike freaking Davis. They were missing tackles.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
It's the number 1 run defense, but it hasn't been number 1 the last 2 weeks. So that's got to get scored up.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. It hasn't. And look, maybe part of that is that you have such a good record and you have a quarterback that you know is going to put 30 points on the game. I mean, you know, on the board every game. But now everything is different. So how they respond, how they act, I'm curious to see. I want to see how they respond against the Giants. I know it's the Giants, but I want to see them come out with intensity and aggressiveness. I want them to come out like this is a must-win. That's what I want to see from this defense.
And I think they will, which is why I think this is going to be a rout. There's a lot of doubters right now, obviously, and Eagles' backs are against the wall again and all this stuff. So they're going to go out and they're going to make a statement. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a shutout. It might be.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going to have problems scoring. I think that, look, if Wentz was healthy and the Eagles were coming off this big win against the Rams, maybe they come in, they don't take it as serious. Maybe they lighten up a little bit. They still would win. But because of the enormity of the injury and what has happened, I think everybody's going to be in all cylinders. I think they're all focused and they're all going to be ready. I think they're going to destroy this team. I think they're going to destroy them.
You got to look at it like their running back right now is Orleans Darkwa. That's their number 1. Orleans freaking Darkwa. You know. And then you look at their receiver situation. Obviously, they had the injury to Odell Beckham. So you're trotting out Roger Lewis, Tavares King, and Sterling Shepard's still solid. But
love Sterling.
Those are the receivers right now for the New York G-Men. They stink.
They stink. That's right. They do. I mean, there's no way the Eagles can lose this game unless they take the Giants really, really lightly or have not recovered. It's just not. It's not. There's too much at stake for the Eagles. I mean, you're talking about a bye week with the win here. So, the Giants are what they are. They're as stinky as stinky gets. I mean, maybe Cleveland's the only stinkier team in the league.
Yeah. All right, so we weren't going to make this a long preview. We're already 20 minutes. We're only 20 minutes in. And I feel like I'm out of material already. But there's really nothing to say. I mean, I don't see how they're going to score points. The main topic of discussion for this game is obviously going to be Nick Foles. I guess the message I would have is if Nick Foles throws like 3-4 touchdowns, don't get too ahead of yourselves. That's my warning for Eagles fans.
Yeah, I agree. I really think and really make a statement, because I think there's a lot of teams in the NFC and in the NFL that are going to be watching what the Eagles do to start this game and how they respond. So I think it's very important. All eyes are going to be on the Eagles to show that, hey, nothing stops. We're still the team to beat in the NFC.
Yeah. All right, so we'll make a prediction now. We really will keep this short. Jesus. What's your score?
I got the Eagles over the Giants 31-3.
Woo!
Total blowout. Late field goal by the Giants. I think Foles throws 3-4 touchdowns. I think the Eagles make a big statement, and I think Eli Manning takes a real beating. And I think that come Monday, everybody's going to be talking about the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl again, and everything's fine. What are these dingbats doing? Sorry. Outside, they're
I do hear people outside.
Yeah.
Well, the Eagles defense, they're going to slap Eli around a little bit. That's what Sheila said. So I think this is going to be a blowout as well. I feel like now it's getting really loud.
Yeah.
That's like EDP. Whenever I do a show with EDP, and you always hear the cars drive by.
These guys just came and just turned all their lawnmowers and blowers on. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's like they knew I'm doing the show. The dingbats.
Dingbats.
Hey, stop it out there! Sorry.
Well, I've got 27-9. I see. After hearing your score, I feel like I'm giving them too many points.
Wow. 3 field goals though, so as long as they got no touchdowns.
No touchdown. Hey, score a touchdown. No way.
Yeah.
Not happening.
I think the Eagles are going to blow the crap out of this team. I think that they're going to be ready to play because of everything that has happened. And I think the Giants stand no chance. Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty much it. What else is there to talk about? Anything else? That's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the game goes, obviously we got to keep a close eye on what's going on around the league, Minnesota, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because if Minnesota loses, I think we clinch home field.
If Eagles win, Minnesota loses, we get number 1 seed.
We get the number 1
Vikings
seed.
play the Bengals.
Yeah.
Vikings play the Bengals, so they'll probably win that game.
They're going to win that game. And then we talked earlier about in another video about Aaron Rodgers and how hard it would be for Green Bay. But to be honest with you, I just want Green Bay out of it. I don't want Aaron Rodgers sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah. I think they're done. They're done. They can win and still not make it. They're done.
Yeah. And then, look, I mean, get the number 1 seed. We always say that. I would love to be in a situation to have the number 1 seed, have the bye week, play the worst team in your first playoff game, win, and then the NFC Championship game. I say, if no matter how we go out that game, go out swinging. I'm talking about be aggressive, onside kicks, whatever we have to do, but take your best shot. And it all starts on Sunday versus the Giants. This is the key. This is a bye week. This is a big, big deal. Get that bye week. It's a huge deal.
Get that bye week. Anything can happen after that. We'll see.
Anything can happen.
So.
Look, I'm going to say this to the people who think, because me and you have talked about it, there's a lot of people who think that the Eagles won't miss a beat without Carson Wentz, that Foles is just as good.
Yeah, there's a lot of delusional Eagles fans. Right?
That's just not true. Carson Wentz is special, and he's going to be an Eagle quarterback for the next 10, 15 years, and he's going to be special. He's going to give you I think they're going to win 2 or 3 Super Bowls with Carson Wentz when it's all said and done. But I think Nick Foles can win. I think Nick Foles has a shot. I'm not quitting on the season. I think he's got a legitimate shot. I think he's a better passer than Casey Keenum. I think he can be. I think Nick Foles has the ability to be a starter in this league around the right team. So I think Foles will do what he has to do. I think Foles is going to be okay. Now, 27-2 or whatever, it's not Chip Kelly's offense as we talked about, the newness of that offense at the time. But I still think Foles could put up good numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy because you almost have like two outlier seasons for Foles. Because the 27-2, when you actually watched the games, it's impressive, the statistics, but when you have receivers running wide open all the time, that's what Chip Kelly's offense was doing the first 2 years before it got figured out. But receivers are running free. It honestly almost didn't matter who was back there playing quarterback. That's how open these guys were. So you had that season. Then obviously the Rams season was a bad one for Foles. But as we've seen, once Fisher left, everyone seems to be having a career year. Case Keenum, Jared Goff, and Foles, went off to play in Kansas City, and he was okay for them in a game. Yeah. So a couple games or whatever he played. So we'll see what kind of Foles we get. But the people that say, well, he threw 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and they're going to expect that, no.
Yeah. Well, and let me give Foles a compliment that I think is very important that people don't talk about. I think the good thing and the strength of Nick Foles is I think mentally, I think he's pretty tough. And I also think that he's good under pressure. I mean, you remember games like the Saints game in the playoff. We lost that game, but when Foles came off the field, he gave us the lead. Yep. I mean, he gave us a lead against the Saints. Remember the Indianapolis Colts game on Monday night? They had to come back to win.
Yeah.
The best game I've ever seen Foles play, and we talked about this earlier, is that Redskin game where he got cheap shotted, but he was so tough and he kept them in the game and he came back and won that game. And I think that in a playoff situation, well, let's say it's the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left, you're down 4. I trust Foles. I think that's where he shines. I think he can mentally come back. I think he can be cool as ice. And that's where I think, Foles is going to really help us.
Yeah. The problem's going to come down to having to match score for score with teams. That's where the problem lies. And, if you play a Tom Brady or Big Ben in the Super Bowl, I don't think the Eagles can catch up, So obviously the Eagles' defense would be better than the Patriots, but I think Gronk would eat all over us because of the Jordan Hicks injury. They would exploit the linebackers in the zone coverage. I think they would score points against us, and I don't know if the Eagles can match them. So, that's kind of the way I see it. And because if you look at it this way too, that you can look at it that way, and then there's the other way where, well, obviously we've seen some quarterbacks go down this year with Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers, and we've seen those teams not be able to bounce back. Well, Tom Savage, Brett Hundley, Nick Foles is a lot better than these guys.
Yeah, I think Foles was one of the better backups in the whole league. That's why I was so excited when they got him. I don't think that it's going to be a situation where our quarterback is so bad that he can't make a throw. That's not going to be the problem. Like you said, the point for points, like let's take the Rams game last week where the Rams were scoring every time pretty much they had the ball, but Wentz would come back and then match it. That is a concern. But look, if we get to that point, then we'll see what happens. We won't know till then.
That's why the defense really has to step it up several notches. Yeah. So, all right. I guess that'll do for the Eagles-Giants preview. I did want to get it to 30 minutes, and we're at 29. So one more minute. Can we talk one more minute about Eagles-Giants?
Yeah, we can. Final thoughts. It's eggnog time, yo. I think I'm as depressed as I've been with the whole Wentz injury because it has. I mean, it just took something out of me. It took something out of you. I'm excited to see what Foles can do. I really do. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what this team can do. And at the end of the day, we're still talking about having the #1 seed in the playoffs. We haven't had a playoff game in a long time. It's been a long time. And to be in this position, it's still going to be an exciting finish no matter what happens. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And, I'm curious to see if this team can bounce back and if this team can make a run. I'm tempering my expectations. I'm not expecting a Super Bowl. I'm not even expecting a Super Bowl appearance. All right? I know a lot of Eagles fans are, they, like you said earlier, they think that Foles is just going to come in here. It's going to be the same thing. It's not going to be. All right? But it's still a great team. I don't know if it's a Super Bowl winning team now. Doesn't mean it's not a good team.
Yeah, and look, sometimes you need these things to happen to have other guys pick up and rise to the occasion. So, like I said in my other videos earlier in the week, you either, lie down and die or you get up and fight and show something. Yeah. So now all these guys on the team, they have the opportunity to show what they're really made of and what they are. So let's see what happens.
The glimmer of hope is how the defense responded after Wentz got hurt. That's my glimmer of hope right there.
That is mine too. That was big time because when he went out, they were losing right at that time. I thought this game was over, and to see the defense rise to the occasion that they did really was like, okay, maybe we're looking at championship heart right here. Maybe they can rise because that wasn't no stinky team. As much as people want to say, oh, the Eagles don't play anybody good, you don't hear that anymore. We don't hear that because that was a really good Rams team that they went and beat. So that is the hope that defense will rise up and that they have the ability to do it. And I was proud of the way that defense played at the end of the game.
Yeah. So we have to become the Vikings. We have to become the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have to play ball control, defense, and hope that's good enough.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
All right. So that's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fecchio. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the preview. Double dose of King Dingbat today.
Yeah, I'm probably, people are going to get sick of seeing my stinking face. But, hey, what are you going to do? I got a guest. I didn't know where he is. He's sleeping or feeding reindeer or something. I don't know. But yeah, it is. Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Anytime I can come to your channel, it's fun.
Well, thank you for coming back on because, unfortunately, James was not feeling well. So,
no problem.
Yeah, so it was his birthday yesterday. So I think I know why he's not feeling well.
Gotcha.
All right, that's King Dingbat. I'm Adrian Fecchio. We're out. Peace.